Hey guys, Kaiju here. Today we're going to be doing another Kaiju review, and this one is on another Y-MSF figure. And of course, it's another Final Wars one, as you've seen by the title. It is the Final Wars Manda. After readjusting, because this figure is kind of small in terms of height, obviously this is a pretty damn good monster. If you've seen my recent video that talks about a lot of the Godzilla toys sucking, you'll know that this one was kind of an example I used to show that some companies that are not Bandai or Super 7 do a lot better job than they do. This is such a good figure, and in my opinion, it might be the best of the Y-MSF trilogy I've covered so far. But anyways, let's get a little bit more into that with the details section. If I bring the figure close up, you will see that it is covered in a nice emerald paint all throughout. One thing that I can see people being a little bit iffy on is the eyes are painted with 3 colors, and they're kind of strange ones. So the base eye is yellow, and the pupil itself is red, but that inner circle is actually white. That isn't something of the light, that is actually a paint addition onto the figure, which looks a tad bit cartoony in my opinion. It's not something that bothers me, but I do understand how that might bother a couple people. The rest of it though is painted up to perfection. You're not going to find a single area on it that is not painted. Everything, and I mean everything, is painted good. You may also notice that this figure has a slight bend in it, and that is because this is the, well, bended version of this figure. There is a variant that is literally just a straight out figure, but that one is much longer, and also one that I am not as big of a fan of. I do like the bend because it gives a little bit of personality to Manda and also saves some shelf space, and because of that, I am happy to have this version. That does lead into articulation. So the head can move, you can get it to rotate a full 360, and then there is also a joint down here which you can also move full 360. The legs can also move. All 4 of the legs can move, which is pretty nice. And that's going to be all the articulation that the Y-MSF Manda has. I was kind of expecting more, like I thought the head might be able to move, but upon further inspection, it is actually separated into 2 pieces, the upper half and the lower half, probably that glue right into the head there. And I thought that these tendrils here move too. They do not, and I would recommend that if you do get this figure, do not try and move them because they are probably going to snap. I have heard though that if you use hot water and or a hair dryer, you can actually bend them any way you would like, which is kind of cool, but I'm not going to do that. I'm fine with how they look here. And now let us move on to sizing, which I kind of have to cut the majority of Manda off for this section, but you'll still kind of get what I mean. As for just a standard Godzilla figure, here is the 1954 Godzilla from Bandai Creation. This is a pretty standard Godzilla, and a lot of people have him. And you can see that while Manda is not that tall, it is an incredibly long figure. I would say the back section alone is probably about as tall as he is. As for another Y-MSF release, we have the Final Wars Kamacuras here. These guys are most definitely in scale with each other. They are a little bit bigger than the typical 6-inch figure. Because of that, they look pretty nice together. Of course, Manda would absolutely whoop Kamacuras' ass, but you know what? Battle for a different day. And as for another dragon-like figure, I do have one that is very similar to Manda, which is Natsuno Maryu. This is an Ultraman monster for those of you who are not aware, but it does look very similar to Manda, especially this version of it. These guys kind of look like an offshoot of some of the Ghidorah species, just with a singular head. And because of that, I kind of like them. I like how they look pretty similar. There is possibly a potential storyline there for those of you who are creative enough, but I'm not going to get into it. And that is my review of the Y-MSF Final Wars Manda. This figure is good, like I said at the beginning. I do like how it is much better than the Bandai Final Wars Manda. It looks significantly better than that figure. And in my opinion, it is currently the best Manda figure on the market. I like this design more than any other Manda out there. And to have a really, really good version of it that has all of this nice articulation and detail is something that I am very happy to have. So with that being said, I think I am done reviewing the Y-MSF Manda. I appreciate you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.